Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing fantastically well. What a lovely Saturday it is here in Yorkshire. Absolutely lovely, and hopefully it's going to be a decent weekend for you all, wherever you are in the world. But as I say, I hope you're doing really well. We're back today with something a little bit different, and it's 5 signings Leeds United could make before the deadline day window shuts. Now, we've seen some chaos already, haven't we? We've heard Mbappe chat, we've heard Ronaldo chat, we've heard this, that and the other. It's just absolute chaos in the transfer market and it's wild. But what it does is it's still opening avenues for other clubs. You know, if someone comes in, then someone has to go out. It's really simple. It's the premise of business, isn't it? So I'm really excited in terms of what could happen towards the back end of the window, because things open up, and as I said at the start, I think it's opportunistic. Leeds United are an opportunistic club, so it's quite exciting for us, because it doesn't mean that everything's done. I still don't think anybody's come out and said, yeah, it's done, everything's finalised. It's unlikely, but as Angus Kinnear said, Rafinha to Leeds was unlikely, so that's an exciting little point of it, isn't it? So just a quick thing as well, just some things that Rafinha said yesterday or the other day about Leeds United, and saying how happy he is at the club, how much he loves the area, how much he loves the people, how much he loves Ellen Road. Isn't that fantastic to hear? There's been rumours for the past sort of 3 months that Liverpool have a huge interest in him and are looking to make a bid, and this is what I'm talking about in terms of opportunism. Would Liverpool see Rafinha doing what he did against Everton, and before this statement he's made yesterday, he thinks to themselves, you know what, we're going to stick 20-25 million in, see what Leeds do? That would have been rejected, obviously, but it'd have been interesting to see if they'd tested the waters. But it's almost prompted the Brazilian to come out and state how happy he is at Leeds, and that's fantastic to hear, really. But these are 5 signings that I think Leeds United could realistically make. It's not that they will make, it's that they could make. So number 1, it is going to be Dan James. Now, with the influx now of Cristiano Ronaldo at Manchester United, this hugely opens up the door for Dan James to leave. There's been talks about Leicester, but it looks like they're going in for Neres, who is at Ajax. There's not really been that many discussion points with any other club going in for him. And Leeds is perfect, isn't it? Leeds is absolutely perfect. We're looking for a winger. We don't need a winger to start. We need a winger to grow. We need a winger to develop. We need a winger that Bielsa likes. Dan James is that person that he likes. Would Man United now lower the asking price? This could be very, very opportunistic for Leeds United. It could work out. Now, I look at this and I think Dan James or Helder Costa, that's in my mind. A lot of people judge Dan James from what he's done at Manchester United, but for me, he's not been properly coached. And you've got a world-class coach in Marcelo Bielsa at Leeds United, who I would be more than happy with to get to grips of Dan James. You look at Dan James when he was at Swansea, you know, when he was coached well, when he was breaking through, when he didn't have as much pressure on him. He was absolutely fantastic. He was ripping the Championship up, and a lot of people forget that with Dan James. It's as if his career's just started at Man United. He was fantastic at Swansea. You know, everybody was looking at him, not just Leeds, not just Man United. So, yeah, I think Dan James, Ronaldo's come in now, the plethora of strikers, the plethora of attackers they've got. What is it? Greenwood, Bruno Fernandes, Cavani, Ronaldo, and all the likes. I think I counted last night. They've got Lingard there as well. They've got about Martial. They've got about 7. So Dan James, for me, will leave Manchester United this window. I'm convinced of it. Will he come to Leeds United? I don't know. Leeds could even facilitate a loan to buy. It could be a Harrison scenario where they say to Man United, look, we'll take him on loan, we'll develop him, and we'll see how it goes throughout the season. We might take him, we might not take him. There might be an obligation in there, who knows? But I think Man United now, with the addition of Cristiano Ronaldo, that rules Dan James completely out of any performances. Man United fans are already going on social media and hammering Dan James. This is what Ronaldo will have to teach Dan James to do, and just tapping the ball in the net memes and all this sort of stuff. But I genuinely believe a Dan James under Marcelo Bielsa has a 10 times higher ceiling than Helder Costa under Marcelo Bielsa. Now, that has a lot of factors to it as well, because we saw last night Crysencio Somerville absolutely tear apart Derby again. I was speaking to Brownie last night and he sent me a message and said, this kid's not far away now. He's not far away. Now, I didn't understand why he wasn't playing against Crew just even a minute or 2, but maybe Bielsa's just getting him used to the system. But it's pretty understandable from every Leeds fan now that if Rafinha is out of this squad now, Leeds are going to struggle in terms of the X factor, the creativity against top Premier League sides. So I think we have to get a backup. If there's a plan for Somerville, I understand that. But if reports are correct, Leeds have been going in for Noah Lang. but the blockers have been put on by Marcelo Bielsa, which is why we all love Marcelo Bielsa, of course we do. But if you're asking me on a personal level, would I go out and get a winger just to help Rafinha, just to help with the depth, just to help in the 70th minute when we need something else? 100%, and Dan James could be that man. The next one for me is going to be Ryan Kent, and a lot of you will go, oh, here we go again. But this is still one for me that could get done. It is still one for me that would be of interest potentially to Ryan Kent and obviously to Leeds United. The stumbling block's obviously going to be the valuation. Are Rangers going to let him go for anything less than 20 million? You would argue not, because Rangers, he's the prized asset, he's their X factor, if you will, he's their Rafinha. And when you look at it logistically, is he going to come to Leeds to sit on the bench? Because it's going to be Jack Harrison and Rafinha starting week in, week out. And as per the Conor Gallagher scenario, Leeds couldn't offer him first team minutes, hence why he chose Crystal Palace, because he's going to be playing every week. It's going to be the same scenario with Ryan Kent. Bielsa might like him, Orta might like him, Kinnear, Radrizzani, they all might like him, but you've got to guarantee him first team minutes when he's been the star man at Rangers for so long. And I reckon if Leeds were able to offer him that, he would come south of the border, because I think it's in every player's mind, and it's the dream of every single player to play in the Premier League, to play at a good level, and to play at a side who finished in the top 10 last year. I think that'd be a massive, massive attraction for Ryan Kent. We all hear the media speculation of how he wouldn't, how he's happy at Rangers, but he's won the league at Rangers. How far are they really going to get in Europe? And is he ever going to get a better chance to test himself in the best league in the world? And players like Cristiano Ronaldo coming to the Premier League, even though he's gone to the dark side, will only be attractive for players like Ryan Kent, because it makes the Premier League even better. So that's definitely one that could get done. Another one that was sort of hounded yesterday, Phil Hay put it down, was Harry Winks, which I said in the video yesterday was quite surprising to me. 110 caps. He's had, I think, 10 to 12 caps for England as well. He was offered to Leeds, and Leeds knocked him back as well. Now, once again, these are just signings that could get done. I understand why Harry Winks wouldn't get done, but I wouldn't say no to that. Just a bit of stability in the midfield, a little bit of reinforcements in the midfield, someone who probably wouldn't be looking to come in and play week in, week out for me. Someone who knows that looking at this Bielsa system, you're going to have to work, you're going to have to get yourself into this unique way of playing, and then you could be starting week in, week out. But I think the talent that Harry Winks has, the fact that he's been offered to Leeds as well, it's definitely something that Leeds could revisit. If Leeds decide on Sunday, on Monday, whatever, even Tuesday, that they want to revisit that, they can always go and pick the phone up and speak to Spurs. That will always happen, and it's interesting. Obviously, I think he played in their Europa Conference, whatever league that is, the other day. By all accounts, played quite well, and maybe they're just putting him in the shop window, and Leeds obviously have that connection there, so that's definitely one to look out for, Harry Winks. Nahit Nandez, we've spoke about it all the time on the Room Mill, but there's more reports today stating that apparently alongside Tottenham, Leeds are still in for the signing of Nahit Nandez. Now, this is just mad, because I don't understand if we're still coming out and saying we're not going for a midfielder, we're not doing this, we're not doing that. Why are we still being reported? Why are we still being linked? It is probably for clicks, of course it is, but there's several reports in Italy this morning saying that apparently Inter Milan and Atalanta are behind Leeds United and Tottenham in the race for Nandez. Now, obviously, this is something that could get done, because there's clearly a connection there. There's clearly an interest from both parties. Do I think it will get done? Probably not. But could it get done? Of course it could. I just think to myself at this moment in time, with the return of Adam Forshaw, with Click Dallas in there, obviously Rodrigo being essentially spoken about by Bielsa yesterday as one of the top players at the club, and someone who was an incredible signing for the position that he's going to be playing for this season, and he's going to be a breakout. It's going to be so hard for Leeds United or the board to go and say to Marcelo, here's a central midfielder, we want him in. And it's clear yesterday Phil Hay wrote an article, and said that if Marcelo doesn't value that player at that price, he will just outright say no. And when you're looking at Nandez, and you've got obviously his parent club turning around and saying he's 25 to 30 million, Leeds for me would already have got that deal done. But there is definitely scope for Leeds to get that deal done. Obviously, we talk about instalments, we talk about a loan to buy. That's been reported as well this morning, that you can loan to buy Nahit Nandez. there's definitely options there for Leeds United, but will that get done? I doubt it. And that sort of brings me on to my last guy, Lewis O'Brien. This is probably the most likely one to get done for me. Probably tying with Dan James, actually. But Lewis O'Brien, Leeds value him at 4. Huddersfield value him at 8. I would probably value him at 8 as well from watching him. I think he's definitely that good. I think he's definitely going to be a top player. I think if he doesn't go this summer, he's 22 years old. He'll go in January, or he'll go in summer to another club in the Premier League. He's definitely going to make that step up. It's not going to be top end of the Championship like you've seen with, let's say, an Alex Mowat going from Barnsley to West Bromwich Albion. So Leeds have got to be willing to move on from him if then they don't value him at that price. But this is a deal that definitely could get done if they meet halfway, maybe 6 million. But yeah, I mean, I think Leeds would go the full 8. I think Leeds would go to 10 million. I genuinely do. But I think it's Marcelo Bielsa, and Bielsa runs that club. Let's be honest. Bielsa runs Leeds United. If he doesn't like something, if he doesn't agree with something, Leeds will not do it. And there is no doubt in my mind that Victor Orta has gone like that, with, once again, as I keep saying, a plethora of players. There you go, Marcelo. And Bielsa's gone, no. That's what I'm convinced of, because we know what Bielsa's all about. Phil Hayes' article yesterday essentially paraphrased that, really, if you're reading between the lines. So the board are doing sort of everything they can, but if Bielsa's happy with the cohort of players, who are we to argue? You've got to have faith in the boss. But yeah, for me, Lewis O'Brien, I would love that to be done. And Dan James, I mean, what a window that would be. And I fully would believe that Leeds would be able to, really mould those two into top players, especially Dan James. But Lewis O'Brien's ceiling is so high, and it would be a shame if we missed out on him and he went to another club. But let me know in the comment section below, guys, what do you think to these 5? Are there any others that you think could get done? Bear in mind, this is could, not will get done. I want you to bear that in mind. There's a lot of people who watch the rumour mill and think it's the confirmed transfer to Leeds mill instead, which is completely off. It's the rumour mill. But I love the discussion. I love the talking about the speculation, how they'd fit into this system. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Links in the description below to get involved with the Patreon, which will be starting next week with an opposition preview, or the week after, actually, the week after, because it'll be Liverpool, won't it? We've got the international break. A Liverpool Echo writer will be coming on. Make sure you check out, of course, the Football Content Awards. Make sure you vote for One Leeds if you wouldn't mind doing so. And like, comment, and subscribe on the video, guys. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you in a bit.